Hello friends, I hope you all are doing well and had a great weekend. And I hope you have already watched my last video on types of tax under GST and have got some understanding how these type of taxes are determined under the GST law. So friends, today's topic is very interesting. Yes friends, today's topic is GST returns. Any person who is having a business or making a particular transaction and registered under the GST law needs to know what kind of GST returns are required to be filed by him or her. So friends, before moving forward to the type of GST returns, I would like to mention some basics about these GST returns. So friends, first we will understand what is the GST return, why these returns are required to be filed, what are the consequences if the returns are not filed on a particular time period given under the GST law, and who is required to file such return. Friends, first we will discuss what is this GST return. GST return is document of all the supplies made and all the purchases made of goods and services during a particular tax period by a person registered under the GST law. Yes friends, if you have made some sale and some purchases in a particular month, then you are required to file a GST return if you are registered under the GST law. So friends, what are the consequences if these returns are not filed? Friends, the consequences are this non-compliance may lead to disallowance of input tax credit on the purchases made by you. Friends, whatever GST you pay on the purchases, it is available to you as a input tax credit for making payment of your outward transactions. So if you will not file any return, this may lead to disallowance of your input tax credit. Second is, this non-compliance will lead to interest and penalty specified for a particular GST return under the GST law. Now, we will discuss who is required to file such returns. Friends, any person who is registered under the GST law is required to file GST returns. So friends, now we will move forward to the types of GST returns. Before moving forward to the types of GST returns, I would like to categorize these types to two categories. First category is returns which are required to be filed by regular taxpayer, and category B will be the returns which are required to be filed by some other taxpayers. Yes friend, there are different categories of taxpayers under the GST law. We will discuss about these types in our subsequent videos. Now, moving forward to the types of returns filed by a regular taxpayer. Friends, the first type of return which is required to be filed by a regular taxpayer is GSTR1. GSTR1 is the return where all the sale transaction of a particular person made during a particular period are reported. So friends, if Mr. A has made 100 sale transactions during a month, then he is required to report such 100 transactions in his GSTR1. Now we will move forward to GSTR2A. Friends, GSTR2A is nothing but the details of input tax credit available to us on our purchases. Yes, it is the return which provides the details of all the input tax credit which is available to us for on a particular purchase of goods or services. This GSTR2A is auto-populated from the sale transactions reported by a particular supplier in his GSTR1. Yes friends, it's a read-only document and you cannot edit it or accept it. Now friends, we will move forward to our third type of GST return which is called GSTR2A. Right now, this return has been deferred by the government, and since the implementation of GST, these returns has not been made applicable till now. But we will discuss about it a little bit. GSTR2 is basically a return where all the purchases of goods or services are reported by the person who was in receipt of such goods or services. So friends, if say for example in the month of October you have purchased 100 goods and take away say for example 20 services, then you need to require to report such purchases in your GSTR2 whenever it will be applicable. Now friends, the third return for a regular taxpayer is GSTR3B. Yes friends, GSTR3B. GSTR3B is the summary of all the sales transaction and purchase transaction of a particular taxpayer made during a particular tax period. So friends, say for example in the month of October, Mr. A has made 100 sales transaction, say for example for a rupees of 1 lakh rupees, and have purchased goods and services of rupees 20,000 on which he has paid 1800 rupees IGST or GST, any type of GST, whatever is applicable. So in GSTR3B, that person needs to report such 1 lakh rupees in a summary way, and he doesn't need to report it invoice wise. He will report such 1 lakh rupees and will report the 1800 tax paid under GSTR3B and the tax which is required to be discharged to the government on the sale transaction made by him. So friends, these were the returns which are applicable on a regular taxpayer. Now we will move forward to category B. What was the category B? Yeah, it was GST returns to be filed by other taxpayers. So friends, the first return which is required to be filed by other taxpayer is CMP08. CMP08 is nothing but it is a summary of all the outward transaction and inward transaction made by a composition dealer. Yes friend, there is a category of composition scheme which is available under the GST law. We will discuss about it in our subsequent videos. So we are not discussing it in detail here. CMP08 is filed by a composition taxpayer and it is filed on a quarterly basis. Now moving forward to the next return is GSTR5. GSTR5 is filed by a non-resident foreign taxpayer. Any person who is a non-resident and is registered under the GST law plus he is having a business or transaction in India, then he needs to file such GSTR5. Such GSTR5 will capture all the details of outward supplies, purchases paid by him and tax which is required to be discharged by that particular non-resident. Now the next return for other taxpayer is GSTR6. GSTR6 is applicable on input service distributors. Yes friends, GSTR6 is a return which is filed by input service distributor where the input service distributor report all the supplies or goods which he received and the ITC thereon plus the distribution made by that ISD to its other units. Now the next return is GSTR7. GSTR7 is basically applicable on all government authorities. It is a return which is required to report TDS transaction, tax deducted at source, and how much TDS is required to be deposited by such government authorities. Now, moving forward to the last return which is called GSTR8. Friends, GSTR8 is filed by an e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator is a separate topic under the GST law and we will discuss about it in our subsequent videos. For now, we will only discuss this GSTR8. GSTR8 is nothing but is the return where all the tax collected at source required to be reported by e-commerce operator. This TCS is calculated at the rate of 1% on the supplies made through its platform, and the applicable TCS is required to be discharged by such e-commerce operator in such GSTR 8. I hope this video was helpful for you, and this video has given you a basic understanding of all the GST returns which are available under the GST law. So friends, thank you very much. We will meet soon in our next videos. Thank you.